Another week and another raft of changes for the in-form Ulstermen. 12 in all from last week's 8-try demolition of the Dragons in Belfast. And with 4 wins out of 4 at the start of this Pro 14 campaign, the squad are aiming to raise the bar again in Italy. Good afternoon and welcome to Ulster Rugby Live. It is Zebre against Ulster. Good vibes so far this season and plenty of positivity in the studio in the shape of former European Cup winner Andy Ward and British and Irish Lion Stephen Ferris. But first, the lie of the land around the league. There were wins last night for all the home teams, the Cheetahs, Glasgow, Leinster and Scarlets. At Thomond Park in the half-1 kick-off, it is Munster 13, Cardiff 16. And tonight the Dragons take on the Kings. Afternoon, chaps. Andy, first of all, how impressed have you been with the start so far for Ulster?
Yeah, it's been mightily impressive. You know, they've gone out, they're scoring tries and creating opportunities as well to score even further tries. So, you know, it's all very, very positive at this point. But it's only as good as this game now. And what's gone on in the past is in the past, and we just got to live for the moment. Changes
again in the team, Stephen, but it doesn't seem to have mattered so far.
No, another few guys are given opportunities here this afternoon. I think it's been a real good thing from Les Kiss that he's giving guys opportunities because he's keeping guys on their toes. You know, we all know Europe's just around the corner. We have a big match against Connacht, but who's going to put their hand up today and show that they're good enough to step into the Ulster jersey when the big games come around? So lots of opportunity, lots of young guys in there, but they've showed over the last few weeks that they're good enough, and hopefully we'll put in another good performance today.
Well, something certainly seems to have clicked, according to one of today's guys getting their chance, starting hooker John Andrew. We caught up with him earlier in the week.
Sometimes there's a little bit of niggle and things, which no one minds, which is quite nice because we're obviously playing rugby, which is a physical sport. So, and like we said, there's competition for places. So if you're obviously trying to impress and stamp your mark in training. So sometimes there's a bit of niggle, but it's never anything serious. But there's just a bit more edge to it maybe than there has been in previous years, which is good. We're more focused on our D and our team plays and stuff like that, so it's easy if you're just running against nothing, whereas we're putting a bit more pressure on each other.
Bit of edge, bit of niggle. Is that music to your ears, Andy?
Yeah, it is all right.
Bit of niggle.
Bit of niggle, stop that. No, but that's what's required. I mean, it's a physical sport, and last week we saw, you know, big Rodney Ayew put in a fantastic shots, and that's inspirational, and that's what the team needs, and that's coming off the training park. So there's niggle all right, and it's good to see.
Bit of go forward as well, Stephen.
Bit of go forward, yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing Deisel at number 8. I thought he was a little bit disappointing away to Benetton. He's got another opportunity after having a couple of weeks in the sideline. But the guys are creating opportunities, and when they're given an opportunity, they're getting across the line and they're scoring. And you know, in the last couple of seasons, we've seen Ulster struggle against the Dragons. Got beaten against Scarlets at home 2 years ago, and these fixtures are coming around and they're putting teams to the sword. It's fantastic to watch.
OK, more from you two at half-time, but the teams are ready. We will join our commentary team in Parma this afternoon. Ryan Constable, and first, Jim Neely.
And a lovely day it is here in Parma, and a very big day for Andrew Trimble, equalling Roger Wilson's all-time Ulster cap-winning record of 221. 12 changes in all, only Charles Piatow and Darren Cave retained in the back division, and only Rodney Ayew retained up front. It is a glorious day at the Stadio Lanfranchi here. Not a huge crowd, as you probably would be surprised to hear. And coming on the back of a couple of pretty decent performances in South Africa in successive weeks, losing to the Cheetahs, and then putting in a very impressive performance to beat the Southern Kings. The Zebre have their tails up to a fair old extent. It's a very young side in general, and we were talking to Conor O'Shea, the Italian director of rugby, before the game, and he's quite hopeful that a lot of these youngsters will be coming through to form the basis of the 2018 Italian Six Nations squad. He is here as his fellow Irishman Stephen Aboud, who joined him at the start of last season in charge of Italian rugby. A fair old task, but Conor O'Shea is relishing that challenge. They've taken their time coming out, and how wonderful to see, well, the future of Italian rugby being led out by the presence of Italian rugby. Just the one change made by head coach Michael Bradley. Vastly experienced international prop Dario Cistolini comes in at tight head to make up an all-international front row. Lots of experience with George Biaggi in the second row, and no fewer than 6 cap players in the back division, captained by centre Tomas Castello. Well, conditions pretty perfect, Ryan Constable.
Yeah, and Ulster have certainly been happy to play in those conditions. A much more expansive approach, playing a lot more off that 10 shoulder, giving options inside and out. And these are the conditions that Ulster will look to expand upon that style of play and get some scoring opportunities quite early, you'd think.
Referee is from Scotland. He's Mike Adamson, and the man with the ball about to kick off is the man who scored more points than anybody for the Zebre this year. Italian international outside half. He's probably the #1 in that position at national level, Carlo Canna. There's Mike Adamson. The TMO is his fellow Scot, Neil Patterson, who in fact is from Northern Ireland. Former first-class referee, now taking to TMOing, squeezing that in between his day job as a dentist. Andrea Piardi and Manuel Bottino are the assistant referees. Canna's put that high into the Parma afternoon. Well taken in, though, by Ulster to start with. John Cooney back on the side. Likewise, Christian Iliafano. Enterprise here from Ulster. Darren Cave. Pietau. Thundering thump against Tommaso Boni. Callum Black. One of 7 changes to the Ulster forward pack. Iliafano again. Luke Marshall playing it inside centre. And away goes John Deisel with Andrew Trimble as skipper outside him. That's what Ulster perhaps have been missing. Serious South African muscle. Oh, well taken on by Rodney Ayew. What pace by the big fella. What a game he had last week. And didn't find a fellow Ulster player, though. Well, what a start this is. Little chip and chase by Zebre. And across comes Louis Ludick. He's going to have to be quick, and he is quick. Well, we've hardly had a chance to get our breath, and what a speed this game has started at. One end of the park to the other. What a run by Rodney Ayew. Didn't come to anything, though. And also under a wee bit of pressure. Luke Marshall in the outside half position. Well,
we're getting the game we hoped we would, given the conditions, and that opening passage of play indicative of what Ulster have been doing all season, trusting themselves within their own 22 to go through multiple phases, then look to create better kicking options, or on that occasion a mismatch which was exploited in that wider channel, and then that composure to hold on to the ball and go again. Unfortunately, the offload just not going to hand, but exciting stuff from the start.
I wasn't quite sure who it was took that ball on, and then you realise it was Rodney Ayew at full speed. What an impressive sight that was.
Yeah, opening the legs, and unfortunately the offload just not going to hand, but clever exploitation of space there, and taking the tackle, keeping your hands free to the offload, and then we saw that end-to-end stuff counter. So some good option taking by Ulster early on to create that opportunity.
Clever little chip and chase, well won at the front by Zebre. Canna has to stretch a little bit. Mattia Bellini came in off his wing. Here goes Zebre again. What a good bit of play by Biaggi.
Off the ball now.
Zebre inside Ulster's 22, and they get the first penalty on the first chance of points. Mike Adamson saying that Ulster not releasing in the tackle, and this should be 3 fairly regulation points for the home side.
Yeah, so Zebre will be delighted to be able to have the first opportunity for those points, and Ulster just getting the decision against them at the breakdown. Need to ensure that they adapt to the referee's interpretation around there. Christian Iliafano is getting a little bit of medical assistance to what looks like a shoulder, put in a pretty big hit there early on, and just going through the routines of checking that injury.
Bit clear now. Yeah. It wasn't the surviving the clear out, it's the clear release first I'm looking for.
Michael Webb, the team doctor there, and Mike Adamson having a little word with John Deisel, explaining to him why he exactly was penalised. But in the meantime, having taken his headgear off, it's Carlo Canna, who's got 24 points in the 4 outings so far, to give Zebre an early lead, and he's done just that. So just over 3 minutes played, and 3-0 to the home side.
Yeah, and as Conor O'Shea, Michael Bradley was saying, the Zebre team playing with a bit more confidence now, a bit more freedom, not weighed down by that the outside influences that maybe can be negative, and just playing as a team. And we've seen some green shoots from them. They've got a core group of those sort of players, around 23 that are Italian qualified, that they're hoping will really form the nucleus of this team moving forward.
And here's a bit of enterprise from Zebre. Good defending by Ulster, forcing them back inside their 22. John Andrew in with the tackle. Oh, they've got that away well. Cistolini, the prop forward, tackled just inside that 22-metre line. Violi gets it away. Bonney releases. Well, what a good piece of play this is by Mattia Bellini, and he's still going. No wonder he's so highly rated. Good tackle there on Giulio Bersegni, the other wing who was in support. And Zebre playing with a huge amount of flair and no little skill either. Little show of the ball by Tommaso Castello, the Italian skipper. And Ulster not releasing again in the tackle.
For no clear release.
Well, yeah, referee obviously hot on that clear release, so even if the player feels that he has done that, it's that body language where he puts both hands up in the air to show that clear release is going to be important, judging by the way the referee's doing that. But excellent passage of play from Zebre, again trusting themselves deep in their own 22, looking for that offload, and then some weak tackling from Ulster that allowed Zebre to advance to this position where they get another opportunity for penalty. We've seen this run here, just grasping at the player, excellent fend off and forcing his way upfield.
Well, there were at least 5 Ulster players playing nothing to do with it in their unfamiliar away strip, which stayed here in Italy after the last time they were here a few weeks ago, and has been laundered. It's only the second time they've worn it this season. But for the second time I'm asking, it's the Zebre outside half, Carlo Canna, the 25-year-old, now with 22 Italian international caps to his name, to double the home side's lead. Giving it a fine clip, and he's pushed it wide. Now that mine is a let-off for Ulster.
Yeah, Zebre will be disappointed if they could have got that 3 points. That gives them the confidence, 6-0 scoreline, and still inside Ulster territory, and as we await the return of the ball to get this game underway again.
Now we've got 2 footballs on the field. Over enthusiastic ball boys, now 3. 1 is just quite enough, I think.
Had 3 balls, almost had none.
Fabiani waiting. Christian Iliafano starting his 4th game of the season, having started the first 3 with John Cooney. Well, Ulster's defending is not sharp enough. They're allowing men to get past that gain line. And here comes Zebre again. This is terrific stuff by the home side. This is Giovanni Licata, only 20 years of age. Hugely impressive. First turnover to Ulster. Reedy to Deisel. Reedy is in there to help. Cooney, Iliafano, taken on by Ian Henderson, making his first start of the season. Cooney, there's an overlap here. Ayew, a wee bit sloppy. Peter Brown does well to tidy it up, and he's absolutely manhandled there by the Zebre open side, the South African Johan Meyer. And this time it's a penalty to Ulster.
Yeah, the line speed that's been so prominent with Ulster in their opening games this season, not evident here today, and it's something they'll want to address quickly. That physicality in the tackle, they're coming off second best at the minute, and it's a trend they won't want to see continue in this match.
Iliafano, who got a conversion and a penalty last time out a couple of weeks ago against the Scarlets at Ravenhill.
Get the gap open.
John Andrew making a rare start for Ulster into a shortened line-out. Good take by Brown. That's pretty efficient by the visitors.
Okay, in the 5.
Ulster getting a good secondary shove on. John Andrew has the ball under control.
Use it.
Cooney. Iliafano closed down pretty quickly though. And that's been spilled forward by Ulster. Referee playing advantage.
Advantage over.
And the kick was taken quickly. Advantage is over. Ulster line out, looking to get away with that again. Very impressed with the pace that the Zebre are putting into this game.
Yeah, defensively they're right on cue, and that's creating those turnover opportunities, and they've played the majority of this first half down in the Ulster 22, and another opportunity to apply some pressure to Ulster's line-out.
Second take by Brown. Cooney takes on the kicking duties and does a pretty decent job. Playing his 3rd game for his new province, John Cooney. Leinsterman by birth, Connacht by trade for a couple of seasons. Andrea Lovotti in the line-out. Well taken by Zebre. Fioli. Taken on by Renato Giammarelli. Johan Mer, the South African, who'll be Italian qualified pretty soon. Second turnover by Ulster, taken nicely. Pietau. Well, immense strength by the All Black. Cooney gets it away to Callum Black, inside to Henderson. Well shackled by David Cisse. Luke Marshall, that's a good pass. Good work by Jean Diesel again. Well, if the referee had looked, I think he would have seen a couple of Italians offside there, particularly outside half. Carlo Canna, still with Ulster, but still inside their own half. Lealiafano runs into a couple of tight forwards. Cooney, Marshall, Trimble, nicely done. Pietau, bit speculative. Louis Ludick does well. Bunched off a would-be tackler.
Off you, White!
Set up well by Ludick. Cooney, Callum Black. Good presentation by Ulster's loose head prop. Andrew, Marshall. A little bit more promising now. Darren Cave delayed the pass nicely. Out on the far side is Matthew Ray. This is better by the visitors. IU needs to hang on to the ball now in the tackle, and he does. Lealiafano. Trimble. Just wasn't able to control it, Andrew Trimble, but much more encouraging from Ulster.
Yeah, for Ulster, it's just about possession. We've seen what they can construct when they have enough time on the ball. They've got threats in those wider channels. Either go through the phases and create those mismatches, or look to create those overlaps in the wider channels. They've done it very effectively, but just a couple of little individual errors has just let them down, and that's created the turnover of possession, and Zebre have used it very efficiently when they've had it.
The space is good.
Well, there's a chap in the PA system. I think he's broadcasting to somewhere in the southern hemisphere. He's a bit on the loud side, but never mind. Just 10.5 minutes gone. Ulster trailing by 3 points to 0. Last time these sides met toward the end of the season in the Kingspan Stadium, Ulster rattled up nearly 70 points. 68-21 the score in favour of the home side.
Smart lads left.
They have a bit to go yet.
Yep, happy there. Okay, good spacing, no pre-engage.
First scrum of the afternoon. Ulster, incidentally, nearly a stone a man heavier. The average weight of the Zebre pack is 17 stone. Ulster 17-13.
Bind. Hold. Okay, we're already in. 3 calls. Wait for the calls before we go into the next stage. Yep.
Mike Adamson asking them to do it again. This is Marcello Violi, 23 years of age, capped 5 times by Italy, most recently against Fiji in June of this year.
I'll set back when I'm ready. Crouch! Bind! Bind straight on the shoulder.
Well, a free kick against Ulster for a little bit of early engaging there. This is Tommaso Boni, the curly-haired centre. Spilled forward, and it's going to be Ulster's scrum. That was a bit of a mess, wasn't it?
Yeah, just poor execution there. Pretty basic skills, putting the ball out in front of the man and just getting a little bit ahead of themselves in that wider channel, and Ulster will breathe a sigh of relief there. Have an opportunity now to get some possession inside Zebre territory. Referee just talking through the sequence that they're looking for from this scrum, and very clear that he wants them to obey each instruction that he gives as he takes them through the stages to complete a successful scrum.
Yeah, the second scrum in a row. He's had a word with Rodney Ayew. Now he's come round to the Ulster loose head side, the side from which the ball is going to be put into the scrum by John Cooney.
Pre-engage.
Well,
pre-engage.
Ulster are certainly on the wrong side of the referee, rightly or wrongly, and that's the second free kick they've given away for early engagement. I don't know what he expects of them, but obviously they're not doing what he wants.
Yeah, when they're calling the bind, they're engaging.
An early bind again, and he's gone straight in.
Early bind and engagement before he's made the call is what they're saying.
Well, so we'll have to curb their enthusiasm in this vitally important aspect of the game.
Did you stay there? Are you happy with that space now?
Clock ticking away, 13 minutes gone, 3-0 to the home side. They'll be pleased with that.
Crouch.
Just touch and go before the start of the season whether we'd even see a Zebre team playing.
Set.
Well, Ulster's extra weight hasn't made any difference. Canna gets it away. Good tackle by Luke Marshall on Matteo Minozzi, another young man rated highly by Italian head coach Conor O'Shea. David Ceci, who had spells with London Irish and with Bath, sets it up. Good work by Ian Henderson. He's turned over Marcello Violi. Zebre regained possession. Canna, extra men out here if they can move this. Tackle by Darren Cave, assisted by Lelia Fano. Violi again, Cano. Taken on by Cistolini, the tight head prop. Here's this Cano, who's been busy. Stopped by Sean Reedy. Another turnover by Ulster. That's the third one. That seems to be working. Cave. Little chip for Andrew Trimble to chase. And across comes Minozzi, and he gathers. And Trimble couldn't quite get him into touch. And the Italians are on the counter-attack yet again. And again, it's Matteo Bellini causing Ulster problem. They have an overlap here. Hooker Fabiani couldn't get it away.
Black, no hands now, Black.
Violi, Cano. No, I was just about to say no willingness to kick, but now they do kick, and it's a very good kick. My goodness, that's a cracker. Cave, the Pietau. Will he kick? Absolutely not. Good support by Cave. Now to Trimble, the captain. Little chip and chase by Andrew Trimble. Good back up there by Ulster. John Cooney, the first man there. Great chance now for the visitors. There you go, hurtling into that ruck, and it's been turned over. That was a genuine chance for Ulster, and they've turned it over again. Henderson has a cut himself. Tackle by Jean Marole. Cooney. Luke Marshall. He did have men outside him, there's still men there. Sean Reedy needs to give it. Gets it to Lelia Fano. Strong enough, but bundled into touch. Good defending by Zebre, but good to see Ulster on the attack.
Yeah, again, showing that they've got the armoury out wide to create those spaces, and maybe create a 3-on-2, maybe through the hands would have been the better option on that one, but
I don't know yet.
Excellent cover defence just to deny Leo Lafano in the corner.
Attack without the ball.
Got a report coming in from the assistant referee, and in discussions now to see which way that goes.
At Thomond Park, it's now Munster 27, Cardiff 16. Cardiff have been in the lead, but Munster have picked everything up.
Okay. Who's captain? Oh, sorry. We've got a tackle without the ball. Kate's gone through. We've played him late. Okay. It's going to be a penalty back. Yeah.
Referee just saying to the Zebra skipper Tommaso Castello that there was somebody was tackled without the ball. Ulster have got the penalty. Andrew Trimble will have to decide what he wants done with it. And although John Cooney's a left-footed kicker, it's the right side of the field for him. I'm wondering, will he be thinking about going into touch?
Tackle without the ball.
Yeah, well, with possession, they've shown they can break down this Zebre defence, but will they look for that 3 points just to get something on the board and get some momentum going there? In discussions at the minute about what option they're going to take. Ultimately, Andrew Trimble will make that decision.
Well, has that decision been made? Yes, it has, because it's going to be Christian Liliafano who's going to put the ball as close to the Zebre line as possible. 17 minutes gone, only score on the board so far to the home side. But the last 10 minutes or so, Ulster certainly have enjoyed a lot of territory and a lot of possession. But they need to turn both of those into points. This is Andrew Trimble. Well, there was that, yes.
Keep it open.
Ulster support player might have been Darren Cave, absolutely manhandled without the ball. John Andrew. Again, Pete Brown wins it. He's done well out of touch in this. This is his first game of the season. Here goes John Andrew. John Diesel lends his weight to it. Zebre squeezing Ulster toward the far touchline.
That's one stop 9.
Cooney. Luke Marshall gets across the gain line. Cooney again. Here comes Sean Reedy. Better stuff by Ulster. Quicker ball. Lilia Fano. De Pietau, ferocious strength to Trimble, the skipper, and Trimble's got over. Great try by Andrew Trimble as he equals Roger Wilson's record of Ulster caps, cap number 221 and try number 48 in this league.
Yeah, and actually created out of nothing. Not one of the opportunities that they went through phases to create. It was really defenders were in front of it, but again, it's just that freakish power that Charles Pietau possesses. Ulster go through a couple of phases, get some decent quality possession out of it, but it's that ability to beat defenders, to break through tackles, and still have the ability to offload in the tackle that's crucial. Excellent support line by Trimble coming off the shoulder, very direct and unable to stop him from that sort of distance.
Well, Pietau, the man who's just impossible to hold on to, and Trimble's finishing was terrific. He needed all that strength of his and all that experience of 70 Irish internationals and now 221 Ulster games. John Cooney to take his season's tally for Ulster up to 30 points.
Paddy, can you give me a quick time check, please?
Very nicely struck by John Cooney, looking a wee bit healthier from an Ulster perspective. First quarter nearly gone, Ulster leading by 7 points to 3.
And they'll be glad to have converted one of the opportunities they've created. There have been a number of them in this first half, but just small little errors have robbed them of any scores, but that one was a little bit more clinical, and they'll be happy to have put Zebre back now after a very good start from them, and standing under their posts, quite familiar for them, but that confidence was starting to grow for them, and Ulster will be happy to have got some points.
Canna's given that plenty of height. Knocked backward and then knocked forward by Ulster. And Zebre have gained possession. That was not a great reception of the restart by the visitors. Canna, referee saying advantage was over. This is the man who's caused Ulster problem, and he's still doing. They seem, well, incapable of stopping Mattia Bellini. Canna, Shistolini, the tight head prop.
Tackle!
Well stopped by Ulster. Violi gets it wide. This is the fullback, Matteo Minozzi. Still in field. This is good play once again by Zebre. Coming straight back and taking advantage of Ulster's mistake at the restart. Castello, tackled by his opposite number, Luke Marshall. Violi. Canna. Pete Brown did not buy the dummy. Good defending by Ulster's second row.
Hold.
Also looking for a fourth turnover, not getting it this time. Good driving there by big George Biaggi. Viola, Canna.
No hands!
That was Giamaroli took it on. Violi again, and again Canna. Castello, taken down by Sean Reedy. Viola, Canna, nicely done back inside. Ulster pushed back into the 22. And again, a penalty is given away. This time it's Matthew Ray, but Mike Adamson is giving Ulster, well, nothing at the breakdown, but perhaps they don't deserve it.
Yeah, Ulster, fine line. They've given away a couple of penalties at the breakdown, but they are competing very well. We've seen a couple of turnovers. Henderson, I think, and John Daisel's been in there, and they are getting some good returns from competing heavily at the breakdown, but probably just need to think about where they are in the pitch when they're contesting those, and in that sort of kicking radius, maybe be a little bit more conservative in that facet of play, because it is the opportunities that Zebre are getting to score points from those penalties from rucks.
Well, the Ulster squad had a pretty tortuous route to get here to Parma yesterday. Their flight was delayed by a number of hours because of a malfunction in Belfast, and once that was sorted out, they had to stop in Antwerp and get it sorted out properly. So instead of arriving early afternoon, they didn't get here until early evening. This to close the gap to a single point. Carlo Canna got the first attempt, missed with the second. This is pretty straightforward, and he's made light of that. So 23 minutes played, Zebre 6 and Ulster 7.
And you always expect a spirited performance from Zebre at home, and this occasion proving no different. That first 20 minutes always hotly contested from a physical perspective. Just Ulster need to ensure that they can dominate through possession, which seems to be the key. They're making those breaks, but just need that ball in hand to be able to create those opportunities.
Put long by Christian Lealiafano. Fiore Canna deciding not to kick. Good solid work in the middle of the park there by Tommaso Castello. This is the hooker, Olivero Fabiani. Good defending by Ulster. They've got the home side bottled up at the moment. That could all change. Good work by Luke Marshall. Now that has to be released, and it has been released. Certainly the referee happy that it's released. Violi shaping up to kick. And he gets it away pretty decently. And Ulster will have the line out. 25 minutes coming up.
Yeah, we're seeing both teams playing a lot of football in their own 22, hesitant to kick, and when they do kick, they seem to be kicking for touch as opposed to those contestable kicks that we see employed from the box area around that 22.
Ian Henderson starting his first game of the season for Ulster. Likewise, John Andrew. Great take by Brown. Cooney, Piatau, into Carlo Canna. Cooney again. Matthew Ray, good thundering young by the young flank forward. Cooney. Lealiafano, Cave. Nice little show of the ball. Well, it was too much in front of Callum Black. Referee playing advantage, and Zebre might be able to take advantage. Well pulled in by Canna. Clever stuff. This is Giulio Basenji, one of 4 try scorers in the Black division against the Kings last week. Viola. This is great stuff. Boney. He got outside John Deisel. And with ball in hand, Zebre are playing some wonderful rugby. Andrea Lovotti. Ulster offside. Must be at least penalty number 6, if not 7, against Ulster in the opening 25 minutes.
Yeah, and 4 of those have been within kicking range at least, and I think they'll take the opportunity to go for goal again directly in front, so at 45 metres or so, and should be within range. Some excellent play from Zebre. Not only have they been up for the fight physically, but there seems to be a real structure as to what they're trying to do, and a very good understanding across the team of what they're trying to do. A lot of continuity in selection, some of that due to a lack of depth in the squad, but they do look like a very organised team that know what they're trying to implement.
Matthew Ray getting a little bit of treatment. Don't know that it's too serious, but we'll soon find out. Kieran Treadwell and Nick Timoney, the men on the bench. Nick Timoney likely to come in if anything serious is wrong with Matthew Ray. And they have indicated that Carlo Canna is going to go for goal and try to get his side back in the lead again. Got his first cap for Italy against Scotland in 2015, and most recently against Australia this summer. Played all 4 games in the World Cup as a replacement a couple of years ago.
Held in a little bit, so just make sure you're allowing them to roll away. Okay, and not trying to find it.
Well, this is the toughest for Carlo Canna in terms of distance from the post, but it's pretty straight. And there was a little bit of a breeze, which seems to have died down, so that will help him as well. This with almost 27 minutes played to restore the Zebre lead. Oh, he's got underneath that nicely. And he's missed another one. Well, again, Ulster will consider themselves fortunate to have got away with that.
Yeah, 2 kickable penalties missed now, and that scoreboard could have had a different complexion. Again, it was just simple handling errors from Ulster that create those turnovers that Zebre are thriving off, and A really tight contest, this one, and Ulster will certainly need to try and get that focus back for this 12-13 minutes. Focus on those core skills to ensure they're not giving away easy turnovers.
Taken in by Renato Giamaroli for Zebre. Fioli to Canna. Castello, the captain. Fioli again gets back into that pivotal position quickly. Canna tries his luck. Fioli again. Andrea Lavotti brought down by Ulster. Slower ball now. David Ceci. Canna created a bit of width there. First tackle was missed. That's good defending by Ulster. Canna again back inside. That was Castello, the captain. Minozzi, very quick feet. Vicengi. Fioli. Hooker Fabiani. All the pressure now coming from the home side. And their turn to give away the penalty in the tackle. And we have a player down injured in the middle of the park. I think he's okay. It's Carlo Canna, down and up again. Glad to say. Look, Marshall in the wars, I think.
Yeah, and again, getting that turnover at the breakdown. They have got some good returns, getting men in there and competing for it. Cano looking for a referral. Feels he was probably taken out late from that inside ball. He takes it to the line and he does offer those opportunities inside and out, and they're getting some returns on that. It's been reviewed by the TMO and feels there's nothing.
Neil Patterson very quick to have a look at it and said there's nothing to worry about, so a bit of a stoppage there. Pete Brown just struggling a wee bit. He's got a bit of a bang to the head. And he may well have to go off for 10 minutes. You must stay off for 10 minutes, even if you're cleared. He does look a little bit wobbly, Pete Brown. I'm not seeing him on camera at the moment. Yes, we are now. So Michael Webb will take Pete Brown off, and one hopes that he'll be back again. In the meantime, Kieran Treadwell has come on for Ulster.
Guys, it's all right. We go for the side of the pitch again.
Referee is asking Dr. Michael Webb and Peter Brown to go to the side of the pitch and walk round rather than stay on the field of play.
Just need to wait until your player leaves the field. Okay, time on.
Ulster line-out functioned particularly well today. Most of it going to Pete Brown, so they'll have a change here.
Hold, 90.
That was Matthew Ray who did it. Not altogether sure that was straight, but Ulster got away with it. Louis Lunan threatening to go on the narrow side. Well, Ulster have knocked that one backward. They're getting away with it. Well, in fact, they didn't knock it backward. That's sloppy stuff by Ulster. They're making too many fundamental errors in terms of handling.
Yeah, perfect conditions, and I think that's about the fourth individual handling error. Not under a huge amount of pressure either, but referee just having a quick chat to the players, telling them that captain's their representative to pass any messages on. Not happy with the amount of talk towards him.
It was good gap, good stability last time. I expect the same. A lot better last time, same again.
It's 10 minutes to go to the interval, and Ulster clinging on to a 1-point lead. Zebre outside half, Carlo Canna with 2 kicks out of 4. Zebre might have been in a much more comfortable position had he been on target.
Pre-engaged. Same as them over there, going straight in.
Well, Mike Adamson is nothing if not consistent. He's penalised or freed the Zebre for pre-engaging at the scrum.
No hands, wait!
Pietau into the home half. That's been kicked through. You're not allowed to do that. That's a penalty to Ulster. Cooney, Leliafano. Couldn't quite get it away, but they'll come back for the penalty.
Yeah, playing under advantage, a little bit optimistic with that offload, but with penalty advantage, you may as well have a try. They'll come back. Certainly within range, you'd feel, but they might employ the tactic of going to the corner again. It worked for them last time round.
Go kick the ball on the ruck.
You will have heard that the Scottish accent of Mike Adams is saying, don't kick the ball in the ruck. Leliafano to kick to touch. Well, that's curled round pretty nicely. That's not a bad kick at all. And as the sun comes out on the far side of the field, Ulster have the line out.
Okay.
They have the sun behind them.
Boys on. Yeah. If you get the rest of them in line. In line with your front man.
Mattia Bellini has been a bit of a live wire.
9. You must stay back 10 until the line out's over. Yeah. Until the line out's over, back with them.
John Cooney's retreated 10 metres from the line out. And he takes it in the outside half position. There goes Luke Marshall into the welcoming arms of the Zebre midfield. Henderson.
Just a tackle.
Good leg drive by Ulster.
Advantage.
Referee's given the penalty to Ulster. Now it's Piatow. Ferociously strong.
New advantage.
Still advantage to the home side. Another penalty given. John Diesel. Lealiafano. Ayew. I don't know how he got that away. Well picked up by John Andrew. And that's a real shambles in the middle of the park. Handling errors abounding. But Ulster have got the penalty. And you would imagine from that range, John Cooney will go for the post.
Got 2 penalties. Got tackling early in here, tackling early over there.
Yeah, you'd think so, given how easy it is. They've kicked to the corner on the longer range ones, but this would be a simple 3 points, and it would be a bold call by Ulster not to take them.
Yeah. Post, guys.
So, John Andrew playing his 32nd game for Ulster, and it's only the 5th game that he's actually started. He's made great strides in the last couple of seasons, learning every week from both Rory Best and from Rob Herring, who's been rested. Young Adam McBurney, former Irish under-20 Junior World Cup stars, on the bench for his very first matchday squad, so we'll see if he gets on. 7 minutes to the interval. John Cooney to stretch the Ulster lead by 3 further points.
But you can't start appealing for this.
Nice little chip by John Cooney. 3 more points for Ulster into double figures. Half-time beckoning. Zebre 6 and Ulster 10.
Yeah, a lot of changes in personnel, but that's been the case throughout this season for Ulster and hasn't affected their ability to have players in the right place. It really has just been individual, not systemic errors that have let Ulster down. And if they can tighten that up, they'll know they've got the ability to score points against this very spirited Zebre team. But crucial last few minutes before half-time.
Well, let's see if Ulster can make a better fist of the restart than they did the last time. Well taken in by John Diesel. Needs some support. Cooney. Marshall. Good work by Marshall. Lealiafano. Henderson at pace.
Off you, White!
Good take by Ayew and a good offload by the 3 times capped Irish prop. Cooney again. Marshall decides to kick.
Touched in flight. That's been touched in flight.
And I think that was touched by a Zebre hand, and Mike Adamson agrees. Matteo Minozzi. Just over 5 minutes remaining. Well, there's a huge gap there, and again it's this man Bellini, and he is causing havoc in the Ulster ranks. And Ian Henderson intercepts. Play on, says the referee. Matthew Ray quite surprised to get the pass, but he's managed to hang on to it. Good call on the narrow side. That was knocked forward. Also, I think, claiming that George Biaggi did it deliberately, but the referees decided it was accidental. Well, this fellow, Mattia Bellini, has been the most impressive player out there, I think.
Yeah, he's a big man, but an eye for the gap as well. Sees it on that occasion, and maybe a little bit of blocking there. If that had been a try, you expect Ulster would have asked to have a look at that, but Andrew Trimble very cleverly in the last passage of play had a quick word with the referee about how quick that Zebre defensive line was coming up, and it'll be interesting to see if he focuses on that now.
Yeah, was that? No, we're all engaged. Yeah, good.
This time last year, Ulster had won 4 in a row, then they won 5 in a row, and then the wheels came off to a certain extent. Next Friday, it's Connacht at the Kingspan Stadium, a game you can see live with us here on BBC Northern Ireland. And then the following Friday is the visit of Wasps for the first game in the European Champions Cup. And that's the game, like all the games in the Champions Cup, you'll be able to hear on BBC Radio Ulster with us.
4.5. Thank you.
It's been an entertaining game, a lot of errors, but a lot to make the crowd sit up and applaud.
4.5 minutes.
4.5 minutes to the interval.
Okay. Okay, lads, here we go. Sorry. Lads, that's one each.
Glorious day here in Palma. A lot of problems with the scrums. Let's see if we can get the ball in and away without much of a to-do, or indeed a free kick or a penalty.
Crouch.
Dario Cistolini, the only change from the side that won a week ago for the Zebre, on the tight head side of the scrum. They seem to have got that one right. Andrew Trimble's come round. Here goes Darren Cave. Well, there was nobody close enough to him to receive the pass, which he thought about. And surely Zebre offside across that 10-metre line. And again, it was Biaggi. Speculative. Luke Marshall inside to Reedy, who's got a terrific amount of pace. Cooney again well away. Henderson runs into his opposite number, David Ceci. Cooney, Iliafano away quickly. Matty Ray takes it forward. Into a wee bit of space. And that bounced handily enough and into touch, but it's going to be a line out to Zebre with about 3.5 minutes remaining. Pace has dropped a wee bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, it started off at a hectic pace, but just a few errors here and there, some issues at scrum, players taking a knee to get a little bit of water in quite hot conditions, so hasn't really had the flow that we may have expected from the first 3 or 4 minutes that we saw.
Time off.
Well, Munster have secured a bonus point win against the Cardiff Blues at Thomond Park. Final score there, Munster 39 and Cardiff Blues 16. So a fairly predictable home win, although they had to work pretty hard in the last quarter by Munster. Ulster will have to work very hard in the second half if they're going to come away
I think it's his arm.
with anything resembling maximum points from this one.
Right, what are we doing, lads? I'm going to go back to line it.
Bit of a stoppage for the Zebre loosehead prop Andrea Lavotti. He's been pretty regular in the Italian squad for the last couple of seasons, and he seems to be fine, but it's going to be a line out. The clock has stopped with just over 3 minutes remaining. Is he going to play on, or is he going to wait to see if Andrea Lavotti is going to be fit to continue? He's getting a fair bit of treatment, the magic spray. They're going to carry on as if he
I'm not waiting
was
for
playing.
It's his arm injury. I'm not waiting for an arm injury.
Mike Addison saying he's not waiting for an arm injury. That'll be encouraging for Andrea Lavotti. He'd love that. His mummy won't be too pleased either. Well won, Zebre away and no more. Canna into a big space there. Somebody needs to claim it. And it's Andrew Trimble, and Trimble's got away. He's got Sean Reedy with him. Good tackle by Tommaso Boni. Deisel. Good little break there by Christian Leafano. Cooney in quickly to the base of that. Andrew. Louis Ludic. Manhandled by Giovanni Licata, this very promising flanker. A maul situation has developed, so if he blows his whistle, Zebre will get the put into the scrum. Also going to try to winkle it back, and that's great defending by Zebre.
Yeah, excellent work. You just need 2 or 3 seconds of being upright to get that maul call, and once that's called, very difficult to find a way out of it. Players then don't have to roll away if it does hit the ground, and they certainly tend not to. And an opportunity for Zebre to get the ball back. Probably not enough time left to really make an impact, but they've shown they're capable of running from deep. Certainly got the appetite for it, and their back division has performed pretty well, particularly out wide.
Well, Andrew Trimble has lost none of his aggression. Minute and a half to go. May well be the last set piece of this somewhat disjointed first half. Just down below us is seated the Italian director of rugby now, Conor O'Shea, former Irish fullback.
Crouch. Bind. Pre-engage. Second time. Pre-engage.
Well, the referee has said that for the second time, Zebre have pre-engaged. So the second time it's not a free kick. The first time it's a free kick. Second time it's a penalty. So he's applying the laws pretty strictly, Mike Adamson. And rather than find themselves maybe behind a little bit, Ulster could be extending their lead.
In fairness, he did give the warning at the last scrum that the next infringement of that manner would result in a penalty, and it's Ulster that have fortuitously got the opportunity to get these 3 points.
It's the second time.
Very difficult when you've got a lot of enthusiastic young men there who just want to get on and do what they do best and do what they enjoy most, and that's scrummage. You've got to hold back until the referee's happy, which doesn't seem really fair sometimes. Anyway, as we come up to the end of the first half here at the Stadio Lanfrancio, John Cooney. Oh, he's kicking well. John Cooney puts it right between the posts, and Ulster now leading by 13 points to 6.
Kick was before time was up, is that correct?
I can hear Neil Patterson just confirming to referee Mike Adamson that the kick was before the 40 minutes had actually gone.
Last play.
So when the ball goes dead or play stops from here, it will be half-time. The Zebre try to regain from this kickoff. Oh, that's a clever little one by Carlo Canna. Knocked back untidily. This could be interesting. And also managed to knock it forward. But that's the end of it. And not exactly a satisfactory first half from an Ulster perspective. They have the satisfaction of knowing that they're turning round some 7 points ahead. All but 5, courtesy of the boot of John Cooney. Quick thoughts on the first half, Ryan?
Yeah, lots of endeavour showed early on, and it set the tone for what we thought was going to be an expansive game, but that continuity's been robbed by a number of individual errors. Quite a lot of penalties emanating out of the breakdown and the scrum, which has robbed this game of any real flow. Ulster have made a number of line breaks, capitalised the one time. They'll feel they've got the winning on this game if they can just tighten up a few of those aspects.
Well, if they tighten it up, they could and possibly should go on to win this game, but by no means certain. So half-time score here in Parma is Zebre 6 and Ulster 13.
Well, Ulster arrived full of optimism, but the hosts have made it tough. The standout moment, Charles Piatow linking with Andrew Trimble for the only try. Carlo Canna has been handy for Zebre, and John Cooney with a couple of late penalties for Ulster to give them the edge. Andy Ward and Stephen Ferris with me. Andy, we kind of talked about the optimism beforehand. What are your thoughts on that first half?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of credit probably has to go to Zebre as well. You know, they've come into this game with a little bit of form. They had a good win last week and so forth. And, you know, they're playing rugby. They're really attacking it and said, you know what, Ulster who? So they've just turned up. It's their home game and they're really going for it. And it's really... It's given us a good game so far. So, you know, Ulster haven't really fired many shots at this point, but are still in the lead.
Always a hard place to go, isn't it, Stephen?
It is, yeah, but I think Ulster have looked more threatening. They've made the more line breaks. I'd just like to see them get off the line more in defence and put in a couple of big hits, like we game-changing moments like we've seen Rodney Ayew last week against the Dragons. So I think it's been positive, but they need to retain possession. They need to go through the phases. It looks warm over there. You know, this Zebre team will tire, and they got to just stick to the game plan, go through the phases, and they will break them down. They're keeping plenty of width. And it's really good to see that. Andrew Trimble talked at half-time last week with yourself, Gavin, about keeping their width and sticking to their structures, and I think they've done that quite well so far.
Yeah, they started off going for it, Andy.
Oh, absolutely. It's an absolutely cracking opening phase, you know, and to see the likes of Rodney Ayew almost picking up where he left off from last week. You know, it's a great exit from here. You know, it was very free-flowing, and it just looked like, my gosh, we're going to have a cracking, entertaining afternoon here. And the way the boys are coming onto the ball, you know, ball in front, and they're picking it up and just absolutely smashing. This is a prop, absolutely all the work done in full flight. He hasn't done that full flight in a long time. So, but it's just unfortunately just probably the wrong decision right at the last. Great idea, but unfortunately just wasn't anybody on the shoulder at the time.
Yeah, and then of course the turnover comes, and that's been the disappointing thing for me, is the amount of turnovers that Ulster have given, to easy turnovers, just giving the possession back to them. And then Zebre went up the other end of the pitch, and one thing that's a common theme in the tackle is not releasing. You're not recognising what the referee has been picky on, and they've given a couple of stupid penalties away. And the Zebre have also missed two kicks at goal, so it could be 13-12 here at the break, but thankfully that score is in Ulster's favour.
Yeah. And in fairness, the referee's been very consistent for both sides in that front. But looking at the line speed here of the Zebre, this is this team that's got a bit of confidence, and they're really playing and taking it for them. They're closing down the spaces. Defensively, I think they've been very, very good, Zebre, so far. And Ulster's finding it hard to sort of penetrate through, but
they got to be more direct, Andy. They can't just keep shoveling it on. You got to be direct. And the one time that we've seen Ulster be direct was when Charles Piatai got his hands on the ball, absolutely steamrolled somebody, and got the offload away for Andrew Trimble's try. But it's just about being direct and sticking to the plan that we keep harping on about. But we can't be conceding silly penalties like that for being offside.
But there's been a bit of that in the start of the season, a lot of penalties in the first number of games, even though the scores have been in Ulster's favour.
Absolutely, and it's something that they have to address. It comes at a time when there has to be this very much amount of discipline within your own team in terms of giving they come against the good sides into the European competition, which is just around the corner. We can't afford to be giving these sorts of penalties away, because it's just going to, there's world-class kickers in every team now, and 3 points here, 3 points there, and all of a sudden you're 6 or 9 points in arrears just from bad mistakes and silly, stupid mistakes. Those are the ones that their coaches are in the box just pulling their hair out.
And we say it nearly every week, Charles Piatai, the man who produces the magic.
Yeah, I'm still trying to pick my team for the next couple of weeks of who's going to get selected, who's going to be starting that Wasps game at home in a couple of weeks in the European Cup. Who's it going to be? If there's one man that's nailed on to be in this team, it's Charles Piatai, because he is a game changer. He is just so powerful, so direct. He can beat you in a phone box, no problem, off either foot. His hand off. Andy actually said to me, he bumps people off with his quads. He just runs in, gets the bump, and it's just direct. And this is what I want to see Ulster doing, getting around the corner, using the multi-phase. Leofano, bang, look at that, power. Offload, thanks very much. Andrew Trimble does a great job getting over for the try.
Zebre lined up, that almost looks like something from nothing.
Yeah, it is something from nothing, and that's the magic of the man. In 15 metres or 20 metres of space, there's no one in world rugby who has the power. But even at that, he knows the outcome of that situation before he's gone into it. He's created that situation. He says, if I just dump this guy, he knows he's so confident within himself. The first guy is not a problem. It's defended 2 and 3. He just gets him into a certain position. He knows the outcome. So if you're a player, run off his shoulder, because he's always developing magic. And Trimble, Andy, it ran a fantastic support line there. And if you keep running those lines, Charles Piatai is going to deliver for you every single time.
We heard from John Andrew before the game about Ulster's defence, what they're working on, but it changed a little bit in the first half, Steve.
It did, and I sort of referred to it earlier there. I'd like to see them get off the line more, make bigger hits, but they seem to just not be attacking the ruck. When Zebre are going through the phases, you see here, they're just standing off the ruck. Like if somebody just picks and goes straight through the middle of the ruck, you need to keep the guys honest.
Yeah, there's one guy over the top of that ball. He could be counter-rucked there and mess the whole thing up.
But I think that on that picture, Gavin, it's if you're not committing to the ruck and you're fanning out, you're filling the field, then you need to get off the line. You can't just sit back. Dysel just can't get off the line in 1s and 2s. You've got to get off the line as a collective. And I think that'll be talked about. If you're not going to attack the breakdown, no Chris Henry there this week. We know Sean Reedy likes to get out in open field a lot more. But, they got to get off the line.
Yeah.
Like
kind of get
like
caught in
Zebre
no man's land a wee bit.
Well, this is Zebre. Zebre, this is a team with a little bit of confidence, and we're sitting defensively waiting for them. There's no line speed coming up and closing the space down. And so this is Zebre coming at us. What happens when Wasps come at us? When Saracens come running at us and we have this passive defensive line? We get absolutely opened up left, right and centre, so they have to, this is what we sort of talked about as well, there needs to be, they've got to have this consistency. This is the way we do it. Teams need to know this is the way we defend.
Plenty to think about in the weeks to come. But now, this week marks the launch of Tackle Your Feelings, an initiative by Rugby Players Ireland aimed at encouraging players to open up about the stresses and demands of the professional game. It's all about promoting emotional well-being and mental health. During the week, 4 members of the Ulster squad called in to Broadcasting House to talk about why they're backing the campaign and how it's already helping them.
The campaign's been a massive success. Wanted to make mental health awareness kind of just more normal. It's important to be kind of reasonably self-aware of how you're feeling and just aware of other people around you who might be able to tell you when you're not quite yourself, or even just to be able to chat about, you know, selection, injury, stuff like that. You know, there's parallels in a number of different jobs, but for us, those are the things that stress us, and those are the things that get us buzzing one minute and down the next. So it's important that we sort of chat about them.
It's been very different for me. It's not something I would normally do, is go and talk to Craig and Darren and Andrew about my feelings and things like that. But it's good. I think everybody was very receptive of what everybody else had to say, and there wasn't big things came out of it, but just small things about how people feel during days.
It is quite a macho environment, you know, a bit of bravado, big strong lads, and there can be a lot of tough times with regards to selection or injury, or even stuff outside of rugby that's going on that's affecting your rugby that some people maybe mightn't want to talk about. And that's why we're doing this, to try and increase that.
On Friday there was the first time I'd played. I started at home in I think about 6 months, and it was only after the game that I realised how much like a drug it really is. It's incredibly, you know, the feel good, the crowd. We scored 8 tries and it's your best mates, and when that's taken away from you, particularly for guys who retire injured, because they haven't, it's hard to accept then if you feel that you can still give but your body gives up on you. I can see how people can retire and be left wanting more, and that's where mental health issues can develop from. And I think that's what's so important about what Rugby Players Ireland do for us, is preparing players so that when they leave they're not worried about missing those Friday nights at the Kingspan. They're happy that thankful that they were able to take part, but they're prepared and excited about the next part of their lives.
I think in a small way we've got a few things off our chest without even meaning to, you know, in promoting the campaign. Like I said earlier, I do consider myself very lucky, and if I am ever feeling down, I kind of catch myself on and say, you know, why are you worrying about that? There's so many good things going on in your life. Sort of snap out of it.
But I think it's not going to be, you know, a massive cultural change, but it's just going to be little moments where you know, have chats and you're slightly more honest than you would have been in the past.
Pretty heavy stuff. Did any of that resonate with you, Steve?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, sitting listening to Darren Cave speak there about being out for so long and then coming back into the game. Obviously, I had my fair share of injuries and knew exactly what it took to get back into the team. But it can be difficult, and people put on a front. People walk in with smiles on their faces all the time, but you actually don't know what's going on behind closed doors when they get home at night and they're sitting on their own. What's actually going around in people's minds? So it's very, very important, and it's a great campaign, and you know, it really is good to reach out to people.
Andy, I didn't imagine this happened in your day.
No, it's by the way, you're retired. See you later sort of scenario for me, I'm afraid. But no, but listen, I think it's a great initiative, and it's not just for rugby players; it's for everybody in general. And you know, in the world we live in now, there's demands and pressure on everybody to perform in whatever walks of life they're in, and so it can get on top of us for sure. So it's a good initiative. I'm pleased to see they're doing it.
Okay, they'll be doing a little bit of talking in the dressing rooms. What's the Ulster message, Steve?
Like, I think they're going to create more opportunities. They're going to make more line breaks. If the 50-50 offload's on, just retain it, just hold on to it, go through the phases, maybe play the field a little bit more. I know they want to run it from everywhere, but play the corners a little bit more, put a bit of pressure on Zebre, and hopefully we see some more points in the second half. But like, it's been an entertaining game. Both teams are giving it their all, and hopefully we see another entertaining second half.
Yeah, exactly. We just got to keep playing rugby, I think, is the big thing, and eliminate errors.
Okay, there's John Andrew. He is ready. We will rejoin Ryan and Jim.
Well, Peter Brown is not coming back. Kieran Treadwell, who replaced him 10 minutes before the interval, has come back out for the second half. And I have a feeling that Zebre may well have made a change up front. And indeed they have. The Ethiopian gentleman, Sami Panico, who's now played 10 times for Italy, has come on wearing number 17 at loose head prop. Christian Liliafano with the restart. Stolen by Ulster. Good work by Andrew Trimble. Ulster really could do with a bit of a zip at the start of this second half. Here goes Sean Reedy trying to add that zip into Tommaso Boni, the centre. Cooney changed direction. Trimble. Cooney again. Piatau, they'll have to look at him. What strength. Taken down by Panico. Cooney. Tough pass, but it was well taken. Nicely done. Away by Trimble. John Andrew. He won't like to think about that one. Andrew Trimble whipped it away, maybe a little bit too quickly for his hooker. And Ulster have wasted yet another good attacking chance.
Yeah, story of the first half overflowing into the start of the second half, going through some really nice patterns, making some good advantage lines, and then just unfortunate handling error lets them down again. And let's see whether they can get the scrum right on this opportunity. Zebre got the best of those early short arm penalties, but it turned against them towards the end of that second half, and hopefully there's some more consistency in these scrums to get the game flowing.
Marcello Violi. First scrum of the second half. The last scrum ended in an Ulster penalty, which gave them 3 much-needed points. Bit more discipline there. The lighter pack of the Zebre pushing Ulster off the ball. Basenji comes in. And again, Zebre looking to move the ball.
Back for the scrum, second range. Yeah, bailing out the contest.
Well, referee has decided that Ulster whipped the scrum round illegally. He's quite fond of giving a scrum penalty, this fellow Mike Adamson, isn't he?
We certainly haven't seen too many completed on their own terms, and that's what's contributing to the stop-start nature of the game. But he has been clear in his instructions, so up to the players now to respond to that.
Well, Conor Canna has responded with an excellent kick out of hand, and he's taken play midway between the Ulster 10-metre line and 22. So that all came from an Ulster mistake. Had Ulster not knocked the ball forward, they wouldn't have had the scrum, and they wouldn't have been penalised, and they wouldn't have conceded some 60-odd metres.
You can try and counter as well.
Zebre not in any great rush to come up to this lineup.
No. We're not going to walk in and go straight up. I need you in and set. Yeah.
The referee's not allowing them just to amble up and then take a very quick throw. He wants them in and he wants them settled. He wants the spaces observed. A metre between each player and a metre between the two lineouts. Well, one. Canna. Boni. Basenji. Huge amount of pace. He's skinned Darren Cave. This could be interesting. Good support play from his scrum half. They need somebody there. They've got the Violas there. Canna. Inside the flanker, Johan Meyer from South Africa. Canna again. This is good play by Zebre, and that was just knocked forward by replacement prop Sami Panico. Well, you've got to give the Zebre full marks for their attacking.
Yeah, set play as well, and pre-rehearsed, and it came off perfectly, able to find that space in the wider channel, and then unfortunately their turn to undo all the good work they've done by, you know, a speculative offload and poor handling, and very good initial break from them, and just unable to position the support players to finish that off what would have been a sensational try.
Keep it square.
Now, are we going to get a scrum without a penalty or an infringement? Rodney Ayew on the Ulster tight head side had a thundering run in the opening few seconds of the game. Has been relatively quiet since.
No, yeah, we're too far away, lads. Okay. Happy with that distance now? Yeah. Yep. Happy?
Mike Adamson saying that the front rows were engaging from too
keep
far
working.
away from each
Good
other.
mind. Crouch. Bind. Set. Get that elbow up. Keep that elbow up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Well, he's telling Rodney Ayew to keep his elbow up. And is stuck there. Now Ulster got it away. Luke Marshall.
Hold.
Henderson. Another man the Zebre have kept well shackled. Eliafano. Little switch now to Pietau. What a wallop he's given that one. And it's bounced handily enough for Zebre. And here's Minotzi, the fullback. And again, he's got pace. Kieran Treadwell quick enough to make the tackle.
First man, no issues.
Ulster stolen that one. Sean Reedy's on his own. Ulster a bit slow to react. Now Pietau again. Marshall. Wonderful defence there, and Marshall knocks it forward in the tackle. Back on the Ulster side, but the offence will stand, and Zebre will have to put into the scrum. They're very quick up, Zebre.
Yeah, they are. They've been very impressive defensively with their line speed. Again, John Dacel over the ball, turnover not for the first time, and then excellent tackle, reading the situation well, out to in and putting in a really good shot that caused that turnover. Again, Ulster will be disappointed that their handling has let them down, but that one at least you would consider a forced penalty. Very good shot.
Almost 6 minutes played. The score as it was at the interval. The other game today, Munster with a bonus point win, scored 26 points in the second half. They were 16-13 down at home to Cardiff at the interval and rattled up 4 tries in the second half. 39-16 at Thomond Park. At half-time here it was 6 to Zebre, 13 to Ulster. 2 penalties by Zebre outside half. Carlo Canna to a well-taken try by Andrew Trimble. Conversion and 2 penalties from John Cooney, but it has been yet another disjointed Ulster performance in Italy. 3 weeks ago, they were 21-0 up, remember, against Benetton Treviso, and had to work hard to hang on for the victory.
Time back on.
While Ulster are certainly winning games, they're not rattling up the bonus points, and other sides are doing just that. Well, this scrummage is deteriorating into the realms of farce. Julio Basenji directly behind the Zebre scrum, interestingly, and he may well come into it.
Set. All the push. No hook. No hook.
Ball wasn't hooked by Zebre, taken quickly by Sean Reedy. Now he's got a bit of help. Cooney to Callum Black. Cooney again. That was a rather rushed pass by his outside half, Christian Eliafano, and it's allowed Zebre to capitalise, and now they're on the front foot. And Canna, where's that going to go? That looks as if it might be a very handy kick. Absolutely flattened Louis Ludick, and he looks like he's been hurt. He got absolutely clattered. Here comes Zebre looking to press home the advantage. If they shift this to have Ulster outflanked. And here is the danger man, Bellini. Minotzi. Good tackle by Luke Marshall. Louis Ludick is down and not looking in good shape. Canna seeing there's nobody at home. This could be interesting. Gathered, scored. Wonderfully taken try by the Zebre back row forward.
Yeah, Carlo Cano realising where the space is. Ulster have 2 players down, receiving attention. That created the space out wide, but top points for the execution of that very good kick, perfectly placed, and a very good take to get over the line. Some excellent work from Zebre.
Well, that's great anticipation and an appreciation of space by Carlo Cano. And looking out wide was Giovanni Licata, who gets his first try of the season.
Yeah, and an Ulster turnover that led to Zebre establishing that field position and being able to execute that perfectly placed kick to get the points.
Well, there'll be serious concern for Louis Lulick. I'd like to have another look at that collision, as Ulster prepared to make a couple of changes in the front row. Ian Herbst and Andy Warwick coming on. Carlo Cano, that's a good strike. And it's an even game in Zebre 13 and Ulster 13. And on come Messrs Herbst and Warwick. And off goes Rodney Ayew and Callum Black.
Yeah, Rodney Ayew looks like an injury around the knee, maybe muscular as he's limping off. Louis Lulick sitting up again, which is good to see. It looked like a head clash there, both players upright. Nothing sinister in, I think, just the bounce of the ball as both players approached it. And he's sitting up now and looks to be about to take his feet.
Well, there was that cleverly placed crossfield kick, and a great bit of anticipation there by Giovanni Licata, just 20 years of age, the Italian under-20 international. Louis Lulick is up, and Rob Little is on for his 10th Ulster appearance.
Time back on.
Zebre have made a replacement in the second row, wearing number 19, Leonardo Krumov, who's played for the emerging Italy side, is on for George Biaggi. That's gone into touch, but it was inside the 22. George Cooney protesting to the man on the near side that he's gone probably about 10 metres too far. Well, it's going to be tough from here on in for this Ulster side, Ryan, because they haven't really performed at all.
Yeah, not ideal start in the second half. The line-out has functioned well all game and using that as a source of possession.
Luke Marshall gets into the opposition half. Cooney, Diesel, well taken down by his opposite number, Giamarelli. Cave managed to slip the ball inside cleverly. Cooney again, Liliafano. Good work by Matthew Ray. Huge tackle by Oliviero Fabiani on John Diesel. Kieran Treadwell is in there, and I think Zebre have turned that one over. Yes, they have. Cana for another clever kick to the corner. May just have gone a wee bit too far. And dotted down by Rob Little for the 22 dropout. Cana, I think, has tweaked something. Down injured. 11 minutes gone in the second half. Honours even. Toss up a coin time, really.
Yeah, Zebre starting to kick a lot more ball away, trying to put Ulster under pressure. They've seen that they're prepared to play from deep and really try to get them in their own 22, playing out of there.
Referee playing on.
Okay, let's go now.
He's told Christian Liliafano just to get onto it, please. Into a wee bit of space. But there's the danger man, last man you want to kick to, Bellini. Johan Meyer. Oh, and away goes Menozzi. Steps inside Pietà, Bellini is going to score! What a try by the Zebre! And into the lead for the first time since the 3rd minute, and they get a second try. And Mattia Bellini really is showing his potential. And Ulster are in danger of losing their unbeaten record if they don't fuck up their ideas.
Yeah, outstanding bit of finishing, some electric pace by Menozzi there, and a very clever support line again. It's those offloads in the tackle that create that uncertainty, and then that finishing prowess out wide. Excellent little step inside, kept the ball alive. Questionable pass, but certainly the assistant referee of the TMO hasn't asked to have a look at it. Zebre will take it all day long.
Well, I'd like to have another look at that. That looked a wee bit on the forward side to me. I don't know that Mike Adamson is inclined to go to the truck to hear what his fellow Scot Neil Patterson says. Well, he's been threatening to do that since the very start of this game. And what a time to do it. I'm just looking down Conor O'Shea, who've been discussing the merits of Mattia Bellini as a finisher, has looked up at us and has given us a little grin and a thumbs up. So I guess he'll be playing for Italy in the Six Nations, I'll not be surprised. No Carlo Canna, it's his half-back partner, and Marcelo Violi has nailed the conversion. And having been 13-6 up at half-time, Ulster find themselves 20-13 down. A lot of rugby to be played, but at the moment you have to put your money on the home side, Ryan.
Well, they certainly know they're in a contest, and the crowd have responded to those last 2 tries. That one a sensational one, and the atmosphere really cranking up now. Up to Ulster to respond. They haven't dealt particularly well with the line speed that Zebre have had defensively. They need to start mixing the game up a little bit more, maybe put a few little kicks through, try and delay the speed of that line, or sit a little bit deeper in the pocket, kick for territory a little bit more, change the tactics up.
Well, Bellini once again gets away from a lot of pretty weakish Ulster tackling. Giovanni Licata, the other try scorer for the home team. Violi, Canna. Out wide is George Biaggi, so it must be David Ceci who's gone off the second row forward. And they're playing with a lot of confidence and a lot of competence too, Zebre.
Yeah, when they play from their 22, they tend to go through a bit of sideways movement to try and create a little bit more space for the kicker, and then they're happy to kick to touch, muscle up defensively. It's been one of the key aspects of their performance today has been their defensive line speed and the hits that they're putting in. They'll look to continue that opportunity for Ulster now from set piece.
Nick Timoney's on for Ulster. Luke Marshall. Sean Reedy. Henderson. I think it's Sean Deisel has gone off for Ulster. Timoney again. Scored a couple of tries last week in the man of the match performance. He'll need to do something similar here. Good counter-rucking there by the Zebre, making life difficult for Ulster at the breakdown. Here goes Pietà. Trimble in there to help. Cooney back at number 9. Matthew Ray.
All backwards.
Spilled by Ulster.
Ball's way left, leave it!
It was Panico set it up for Zebre. Bellini at scrum half. Castello. This is the very quick Matteo Menozzi. Another man highly rated by Italian coach Conor O'Shea. Meyer, Biaggi. They are oozing confidence, this home side. Violi, Canna. Well taken by Pietà. Again, Andrew Trimble has to play the role of the flank forward. Kieran Treadwell. A little bit isolated. Trimble. Well, another unforced error by Ulster. They've given the ball away again. And that's gone directly into touch, but they'll come back for the knock-on.
Yes, Zebre again targeting the ball in that contact area when they get the opportunity to put a shot on and the ball's exposed. They certainly haven't missed it. I think that'll be the tale of this game for Ulster when they do their reviews, will be the amount of turnovers when they were in possession that have given Zebre these opportunities. And you can really sense the positivity, the body language within Zebre. Put themselves in a great position to win this game with 23 minutes on the clock.
Well, they lost against the Cheetahs a couple of weeks ago, but they scored a bonus point from 4 tries. They had a bonus point win a week ago against the Southern Kings. And at the moment, they're outscoring Ulster by 2 tries to 1 and thoroughly deserving of this lead.
We worked hard in the first half to keep that no pre-engage. So I expect the same from you guys. Is that? Yeah, on the back, not on the shoulder.
Referee having a word with the Ulster front row.
Good. Good.
Not the biggest crowd in the world that Ulster have ever played in front of, but they're certainly making plenty of noise. Coming up to the end of the 3rd quarter, and Ulster a converted try behind. And they need to find an extra 50% compared to what we've seen so far if they're going to win this game. And this would be, well, a calamitous defeat for Ulster if it works out that way. Fun and games in the front row. That's a good Zebre scrum. There's nobody on the narrow side for Ulster. Andrew Trimble misses the tackle. And into touch it goes. And did it come off a Zebre hand or an Ulster hand? But that was a good scrum. A very quick pickup by Renato Gimaroli.
Lads, it's just a knock on, there's no option of the line out.
And the ball was knocked forward before it went into touch. If the ball is knocked on into touch, then you get the option of taking the line out or the scrum. But because the ball was knocked on before it went into touch and it was played into touch, then Ulster will have the scrum. Almost 58 minutes played. 13-6 at half-time to Ulster. The wheels have come off a little bit. Big squeeze by Zebre. Nick Timoney at number 8 controls. Luke Marshall gets up to halfway. Ulster need it quickly. Now they've got it. Lilia Fano. Pietau rode the tackle well, but they were lining up for him. Offside in the middle of the park by a mile, Zebre. Mike Adamson missed it. His assistant's doing him no favours either. Cooney goes to ground and Ulster get the penalty.
13 roll first.
There's a chance to get a little bit of territory.
Yeah, you're legal, 13 needs to roll.
Yeah, probably just out of range, kick for the corner. You'd feel somewhere around the 22 would be a good return from a midfield kick like this. And Ulster just need to have some patience now, go through. We've seen they can create opportunities with ball in hand. They just can't afford to keep this turnover rate going. It's robbing them of any opportunity to really get a foothold in the game.
Another bad kick by Christian Eliafano. And Ulster just taking their time coming up to the line-out where John Andrew will throw. A number of changes, so everybody have to be familiar with the different calls. Well taken in, first by one hand, then by two by Big Ian Henderson. It's gone to ground.
Ball's available. It's hold. Push.
Cooney, Timoney. Luke Marshall waits. Wasn't held, so had another little scramble. Henderson. Well, that's a good drive by the British and Irish Lion. Knocked forward. You get the feeling, Ryan, it's not Ulster's day.
Yeah, security of the ball in the tackle hasn't been what it needs to be at this level, and Zebre have targeted it. They're again going to ground there, and just no ball security at ruck time, whether it be in the tackle, just not protecting it enough, and that's led to the turnovers that we've seen. They've probably turned over more ball in this game than they have the previous 4 games in total, and sometimes when you get into that pattern, it's hard just to snap out of it, but they'll need to do something as that clock continues to tick away. There's a 7-point margin. They know they've got enough quality in their team, but they need the ball. And that possession will lead to line breaks and points on the board. But let's not discount the spirit that this Zebre team have got. Can their conditioning go the distance? There's certainly been a stop-start game which will play into their hands, and a crucial scrum now deep in their own territory.
We're very tight on the offside, okay? So just work hard, all the midfield.
3/4 of the game gone. Ulster having been 13-6 up at the interval, 20 points to 13 behind, and Zebre looking to record a famous victory.
Yeah, well, the referee just speaking to the midfield of Zebre and warning them that they're close to that line of offside in general play, and he'll need to follow through with that warning if that trend continues.
Well, the Ulster supporters, as few as there are, would probably say amen to that.
Bind. Set. Come in. Hold.
Zebre very flat to the line on the near side of the field, and they're going to run this one. Canna. An overlap here. Tackle was by Darren Cave. Fiole. Canna's back in position again. Try scorer Giovanni Licata is tackled close to the 22. Ulster trying to hold him up. He managed to get to ground. Canna. Well gathered in by Pietau. Cooney. Matthew Ray across the 10-metre line.
17 straight off feet.
Replacement prop forward Sami Panico, as we mentioned, of Ethiopian extraction. Now an Italian international. Has played 10 times for Italy. And Italy are making another change in the front row. And the Argentinian international, Eduardo Bello, who is an enormous lump of a fellow, is coming on.
And meanwhile, Ulster have taken the option of kicking for goal. Cooney's kicked particularly well all season and in this match, and he'll look to add that 3 points and make a dent in that 7-point lead.
So on indeed has come the 21-year-old Argentinian, Eduardo Bello. On his only cap against Uruguay last year. John Cooney with 3 successful kicks from 3, a conversion and 2 penalties so far. He really needs this one. He's given that a fair old clip. Oh, that's a wonderful kick by John Cooney. So Ulster within a try of going ahead. We have about 17 minutes remaining. 2016 though to the home side.
Yeah, pragmatic decision from Ulster. Plenty of time left on the clock. No need to panic. Points are on offer. You take them. Core now to get this restart right. Sitting with their 2 pods, waiting for the receipt of this.
Dave Shanahan waiting to come on for Ulster. Interesting decision, that one. Tommaso Boni is leaving the field, and on is coming Juan Battista Venditi, another seasoned campaigner. Andrew Trimble bumped at the touch, and that's going to be a Zebre line-out. What a good start by Venditi. Did absolutely the right thing there. Allowed Ulster's captain to take the ball and swept them into touch.
Yeah, an outstanding kick-off, exactly what you want. Right close to the touchline, and then affecting that tackle to put them straight back on attack, right on just inside the 22.
Dave Shanahan is indeed on for John Cooney, who's got 11 of Ulster's 16 points. Fruman adds his weight to it. It's a well-organised line out by Zebre. Johan Meyer. Nice patient build-up. Giamaroli. Panico.
Number 2 side entry. Clearing the threat out from the side. Number 2.
Oliviero Fabiani came in not from the rear of that ruck, but from the side, and has given Ulster a chance to clear their lines. Still time for Ulster, but my word, Brian, they'll have to work a lot harder.
Yeah, and with the game in the balance, an unusual decision to replace Cooney, who's kicking so well off the ground, and what might be only a point or two that separates. They've made that decision. There are other kicking options, but they'll be coming in cold for what could be some crucial kicks. So interesting change made at that 64-minute mark.
It doesn't look as if John Cooney was bothered by injury at all, so a tactical decision by the Ulster management. Well away by Timoney. Bit of a flat pass there. Well, that is hopeless in the middle of the park. Fortunately for Ulster, Zebre couldn't capitalise.
Yeah, fly hack through on that occasion. May have seen Ulster exposed when you're up in an attacking formation. There's not much cover there. Elected to try and pick it up, and unfortunately wasn't able to do that. But certainly a mix-up in the midfield, and a strange one that from set piece with no pressure that the ball would be passed to no one.
Dave Shanahan, a try scorer a week ago as a replacement for Paul Marshall, who had 15 stitches and inserted in a couple of cuts in his head. Back to old fun and games in the scrums. Both hookers remain. All 4 props have been changed, and on the far side of the scrum for the Zebre, as we mentioned, is Eduardo Bello, this enormous young Argentinian tight head. 14 minutes to go, 4 points between them.
Set. Get that elbow. Get that elbow. Ball's available.
Timoney, Shanahan switches direction. Liliafano, Darren Cave. Set a nice target. Shanahan flat. Kieran Treadwell runs into heavy traffic. Shanahan. Fian Herbst.
No hands.
Gets those legs pumping. Shanahan again. Ian Henderson. Not sure there was arms involved in that tackle. That was an illegal tackle. The referee, I think, has spotted it.
17, no arm tackle.
Yep, number 17, Sammy Panico, and no arm tackle. Now, this is quite kickable, but John Cooney's not there.
Yeah, Christian Lealifano, you'd expect to be the one asked to step up and take that kick. It's definitely the option to take. It's directly in front, 40 out, and with a 4-point margin, the right option to take to kick through.
In the meantime, Oliviero Fabiani is leaving the field to be replaced by Alejandro Luz, who's a 21-year-old from Cape Town. And he has played well. He's another man that Conor O'Shea will have inked into his squad, I'm sure, for the Autumn Internationals and indeed the Six Nations in 2018.
They're very committed and energetic display, and interestingly, Ulster are spurning the opportunity for those 3 points and kicking to the corner. Their lineouts function particularly well. It's been one of the key aspects of their performance that hasn't gone awry, and they're looking to extract maximum value from the advantage they've had from it.
Still time for Ulster. 13 minutes remaining. Good take by Timoney. Sean Reedy is in there as well.
5, don't change your bind.
Referee has called for the maul, and Ulster are driving forward. Sean Reedy has it in there. This is a great drive. They've got to within 5 meters. Marshall, can he stretch? Pretty close. Referee is having a really good look. Ulster must get something from here, and they've got over. They've got the try that puts them back in the lead, and it's Fian Herbst, a replacement for the second week in a row, and for the second week in a row, the South African who's Irish qualified gets a try for Ulster.
Yeah, it was an outstanding driven maul, and I don't think Zebre committed enough players to start with. There was 2 or 3 hanging off. That allowed Ulster to get momentum, and then the chaos that followed, they managed to get very close to that line, and then some simple some pick and goes from there, and got the opportunity to get over. Just having a quick look to see if there was any obstruction in that last phase.
Well, it was great work initially by Luke Marshall, who got right across the gain line. And then the pick up and drive, and Dave Shanahan's hands up in the air.
Yeah, we've TMO's called in, and I think there's a little bit of obstruction with a player, just preventing them getting to the try score in that last phase of play.
What we're looking at, defence by Ulster.
Yes, a defence by Ulster.
I'm not sure where the screen is in the ground that the referee can see. Oh, yeah, it's over. It's quite far away. I don't know how he's going to be able to see that. Christian Lealiafano is waiting to take the conversion. And Andrew Trimble is coming trotting over. Well, this could change the whole complexion of the game, just as Ulster thought they were back in the lead with less than 15 minutes remaining. Now there was the drive.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that part of it. I think it's at the end there as Darren Cave's looking to get his position back into the attacking line. One of the Zebre players is obstructed potentially from making that tackle.
You can't really see it from that angle, can you?
Okay, this is the angle coming up.
You can hear the TMO saying this is the angle coming up. Well, who's obstructing whom there?
Yeah, it's further on than that. There's nothing wrong with the driving maul phase of the play. It's when it gets to the try line.
Now, Mike, it's coming up now, and it's the breakaway on the Ulster maul.
I can hear the TMO, Neil Patterson, saying it's the breakaway from the Ulster maul. I don't understand that.
Yeah, he's not concerned about what happened on the try line. He's saying once that maul detached, were there players blocking?
Initial breakaway on the blind side.
So we've got the initial breakaway. We're saying that's changing lanes and it's obstruction.
There's certainly no white player bound at the front, and it is a distinct change of lanes.
So we're saying that
well, Neil Patterson is saying there's a distinct change of lanes, which means an Ulster player deliberately changed his angle of defence to cut out a defender.
Before the 5-side entry, is that correct?
It did, yes.
So we're saying.
And the referee was going to penalise the Italians for actually coming in from the side anyway, George Biaggi, but this would actually predate that. So the penalty may be given against Ulster and not the try, and that might cost Ulster the game, but we have to see.
Just breaking away.
And that's clear evidence of them breaking away, changing lanes, blindside obstruction.
That's it, yes.
Okay.
So he's not going to give the try, I don't think.
Okay, Captain. Okay, what we're seeing is there's a maul going forward. There's a clear change of lane. Ulster broken their binding on blindside. It's clear. No, it's clear. It's a clear obstruction, and that happened before the 5-side entry. So it's going back for a penalty against you for.
Oh dear. So Ulster's afternoon here on Parma is not getting any better. What we thought might have been a match-changing and match-winning try has been changed to a penalty against Zebre. No try allowed. Christian Lealiafano will have to put the little plastic tee again. Intrigued by that decision, a changing of lanes. Did it affect the try being scored? Clearly the TMO thought so.
Well, it wasn't the referee who asked for it, so the TMO saw something and he's intervened. Ulster not going for the 3 points, trying to look for a maximum return, and Zebre still in this one and happy to have that 4-point lead. They'll need to get some possession now. It's swinging back towards Ulster, the momentum and the urgency back into the game as we enter the final stanza.
Well, that was a crooked line-out, which will give Ulster the option of the line-out or the scrum. We are, of course, subject to the home director here in Parma giving us the pictures that we require.
Okay. You happy there?
10 minutes remaining. Ulster trailing by 4 points.
Okay, patience on the calls, time's up.
A lot of people were saying that Ulster should come away from this game with a maximum 5 points, and at the moment they are consigned to a losing bonus point, which I have to say would be totally and utterly unacceptable.
Keep that elbow. Keep that elbow.
It's a bit of illegal scrumming there by Zebre. Referee has spotted it coming up on the loose head side, and this Sami Panico gentleman has given away a number of penalties. So can Ulster go to the corner and try the whole thing again and make sure there's no obstruction this time? That's a very good kick by Christian Lealiafano. A wee bit of a breeze picking up. Just under 10 minutes to go. 2016 to Zebre. Ulster thought they'd really taken the lead. Try was ruled out.
Discipline at more time, lads.
John Andrew. Good take by Kieran Treadwell. Now Ulster looking for another shove. Andrew has the ball tucked in.
5 to ground. 5 to ground.
Ball has gone to ground. There goes Andrew. Andrew Trimble goes in.
Hold.
Needed away quickly. Shanahan does get it away. Andrew Warwick. Shanahan again. Ferocious tackling there by Zebre. Shanahan, Lealiafano. Absolutely clattered. Ferocious stuff. Now Trimble is popping up everywhere. Rob Little dying to get back in action. Good ground by the replacement. Well taken on again by Ulster. Shanahan falls over it. Lealiafano. Interception. Oh, catastrophe for Ulster. This is going to be game. And away goes number 8, Ramato Gimaroli. And he's running the length of the field for the Zebras' third try. And surely that will put it to bed. Ulster desperate. Pass intercepted. 80 metres scamper by the 22-year-old Italian under-20 international. And that's going to be game, set and match for Zebre. And a famous victory, I'm pretty sure, here in Parma.
Yeah, Ulster spurning the opportunity to kick for goal on 2 consecutive occasions. It looked inevitable that they would score. It looked like they had the patience to go through the phases, and then it was just picked off that line speed again, bearing fruit for them as he snatched it almost out of Ian Henderson's hands, and then the number 8 had the ability to go the distance. There was Ulster backs chasing him, but inspired by the cheers of the home crowd, he scored a vital point for Zebre. They'll look to close this game out now, and for Ulster, the speculative passes need to come into play. They need to take the low percentage options, because with time running out, they're considerably behind on the clock.
Well, I'm not altogether sure that Zebre can believe it. Conor O'Shea, the director of rugby for Italy, former Irish international fullback, is just leaving the ground with a huge grin on his face. He wasn't expecting a victory today, but he was expecting a pretty decent performance, and Zebre have not only put in a very decent performance, they've just about copper fastened a victory, unless Ulster can come back, and this kick is crucial. He's brought it in. Yes, he has. Wonderful bit of striking by Marcello Violi. Adds an extra 2 points. And Ulster now, with only a handful of minutes remaining, find themselves 11 points adrift. It's 27-16 to Zebre, with only a matter of minutes remaining.
And Ulster now playing for a losing bonus point, something they wouldn't have envisaged at the start of today, but credit where credit's due, an inspired performance from Zebre. Their defence showed what it meant more than anything else, and from the first minute through to the 73rd minute, they've been producing those big hits. They've had intensity in all the physical content, and with 6 minutes to go, they're getting their last few players onto the pitch.
Yes, on is coming Jacopo Sarto, who scored a try last week against the Southern Kings. Well, Zebre can hardly believe it. But to be fair to them, Ryan, they deserved this win.
Yeah, Ulster will dissect their performance, and a lot of that focus will be on the handling errors that allowed Zebre so much possession. But ultimately, it was Zebre won it, not Ulster losing it, and a very comprehensive performance and a victory no one really saw coming, if that's the way these last few minutes pan out.
Well, a Zebre player down with a bit of cramp. There was the pass thrown, and there was the interception. And what a turn of speed was shown by Renato Giamaroli, the 22-year-old. Got a try against the Southern Kings a week ago, and he's got another one here.
Yeah, a little tug on the jersey from Carlo Canna on Charles Pietau. Not sure it would have affected the try, but just a little bit of a jersey tug there.
6 minutes remaining. And on the field, I think, is Serafim Bardoli, young Argentinian prospect. He's come on for Canna at outside half. Nobody at home on the narrow side for Ulster. This is Bardoli. Look, Marshall makes the tackle on his opposite number, Johan Meyer, who's been part of a very good young breakaway back row trio for Zebre. More experienced George Biaggi, Viole, Bardoli. No way through. Sarto. Good continuity once again with Senji, who's caused Ulster a problem or two, not just in the past but today. Good tackle by Matthew Ray. But a Zebre with 5 minutes to go in possession. And now just inside Ulster's half. That was Sarto, the replacement. Viole, Bardoli. Good work by Tomas Castello, who'll be a very happy captain. Pick up and drive by the replacement prop. Gets it away nicely. Castello again. Krumov trying to cause mayhem. That's a clever little kick. And Ulster give away the penalty. Look, Marshall furious with the referee's decision. Told him he'd come round from an offside position. Marshall made the tackle.
The tackle player doesn't have the rights. The tackler doesn't have the rights anymore. Had to retreat and come through the back gate is the ruling there. And Zebre looking to finish this off in style in Ulster territory, and the crowd really showing their appreciation for the spirit that Zebre have shown today. An outstanding performance, and one certainly we didn't see him coming, and most people watching wouldn't have seen coming, but full value for their win.
And Zebre going for the corner because they've scored 3 tries. And can you imagine the reaction if they can get a 4th try and a bonus point try and leave Ulster going home tail between legs with nothing? This has to be one of the greatest victories in the history of this Zebre club, which we all thought wasn't going to make it to the start of the season.
Yeah, when you consider they were thrown together, a lot of players left over the uncertainty, and Ulster came flying high, unbeaten this season, and they've been dissected by a very good Zebre performance.
They've won the line-out. Viole, Johan Meyer, assisted by Sarto. Change of direction. Try scorer Giovanni Licata. Viole. Sarto again. Eccentric hairstyle, but orthodox in terms of his play. Nice little flat ball. Sarto assisting. They're getting closer to the line on that 4th try. That's knocked forward. Advantage to Ulster. Liliafano, who's had a quietish game by his own standards, couldn't get it away.
Yeah, Zebre have made sure of that with their line speed. It's cut out a lot of the options. There were some opportunities created in the first half. Haven't been too many in the second half, and the game of rugby is still at its core a physical contest, and Zebre have been the team with the greater intensity in the physical contact. They've won those battles, and that's really set the platform for what is an outstanding win for them.
And on for his very first Ulster cap is Adam McBurney.
Yeah, knock on in the tackles.
John Andrew has played pretty well again. Adam McBurney learned his rugby at the great Randallstown club. star of a couple of Irish under-20 World Cup sides, but here he is now thrown into this cauldron with his team trailing by 13 points and 3 minutes remaining. Ulster have no option from here but to attack, to try to salvage something. They have to get a try. They've got a penalty. Early engaged on the far side by the Argentinian tight head prop. 2.5 minutes to go. Liliafano finds a very good touch. His kicking out of hand all day has been very good, but much of the rest of Ulster's play has been, well, less than good. Oh, I thought Adam McBurney had come on. This is John Andrews still there. Adam McBurney has come on, but he's not coming on as a replacement hooker. I think he's moved into the back row. John Andrew can play in the back row. However, it's Andrew to throw. That's not straight. And again, Zebre doing their best to stop Liliafano. Cave has a good cut himself. He's got Little with him. Here goes Rob Little. Pietau's there, Little's going to go, and he slips it inside the Cave, and it's going to be a 7-pointer for Ulster, and my word, they need it, but it's all too late, and Cave drop kicks the conversion, so all 7 points for Ulster, and they've closed the gap now to 4 points, and there's 1.5 minutes to go. And could the amazing happen? If Ulster can gather in the ball from the restart, they could come back to this game.
That would be crushing for Zebre if that was to happen. Very clever from Darren Cave, understanding where the clock was, taking the quick kick and preserving time left on the clock. There's certainly enough time left that there will be a restart, and Ulster clinging on by a thin lifeline.
Let's go. Hurry up.
Trying to work out who actually went off for Ulster. Might have been Nick Timoney, I'm not quite sure. Zebre made another change. Palazzani has come on. Guglielmo Palazzani, who can play on the wing. Long restart kick, a sensible one, taken in by Sean Reedy. This ball has to be moved, and there is Adam McBurney. "30 seconds to go. Ulster have to keep possession. Liliafano, Andy Warwick. Good work by the loose head, and he's thrown it forward. Well, just what Ulster didn't need, to lose possession deep inside their own half, and all Zebre have to do for 15 seconds is keep this ball, and they kick it as far up into the air as is humanly possible, and they will have won a famous victory. They have turned Conference B leaders Ulster over in some considerable style. They have played 80 minutes, and the honour of putting it into touch goes to Marcello Violi, and Zebre thoroughly deservedly have won this game. The worst performance by Ulster in recent seasons. What a turnover here in Parma. Final score, Zebre 27 and desponding Ulster 23.
Well, that's it. No time for Stephen Ferris and Andy Ward. We will digest that, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.